All right, guys, you happen to be the owner of a crystal chip mod chip for the PS2, the last greatest PS2 mod chip ever made. So we have several steps to do here. The only thing this tutorial is going to cover is how to install the firmware and the dashboard. We'll have more tutorials as we go. So open up your browser, go to github.com/sale.4k/crystalchip-r34v3. May change this in the future, so you can still just concentrate on sale.4k. I have repositories there. If you're not familiar with GitHub, several ways to get the files right now. I may change it in the future. Code, download zip. The other thing, this is the most common way for people. Click on releases. Right now, you can download by clicking here. Let's download it. It's going to download the file. Then we're going to go to the folder, my downloads. And in here, you'll see the zip. What we have to do, we have to extract that. So right click, extract here. Now we have the folder. What we have to do in here, there's 3 files that are important. We have make it bat. That's going to make the firmware. That's going to then make the CD that we can burn. So just double click that. That'll run through a bunch of things. You'll see this screen right here. It'll say press any key to continue. If you're messing with things, you'll look for errors. Now it's making the CD. Press any key. Now it's done. We have a CC upgrade queue and a CC upgrade bin file. So what we're going to do now is open up your burning software. I use AnyBurn. It's free and easy. You're going to click Burn Image to Disk. Select Image File. Click the little folder. We're going to go to Downloads. Go to the folder. And then you can select either the CC upgrade.q or upgrade.bin. Doesn't really matter. Open. Then you just click Burn Now. I don't usually verify written data, but I do eject disk after burning if your thing supports it. After this, we can upgrade firmware and dashboard without ever needing a CD. The CD is there just if things go terribly wrong and you don't have a way back in. So close that. Now let's go back to my PS2. I've already burned it like I said, so here's my PS2. We're going to now turn it on. Eject your disk if you got a fat, otherwise open the tray if you got a slim. It'll go to the what's called OSD sys. Let me get my controller here. It's going to do its thing. Sorry, this fat PS2 takes a little while. And then it should boot to BootManager. Yay! So this is the default theme for BootManager and the firmware upgrade process. So this screen will look different from CD than it does when you install it. We're going to go to Firmware Manager. We're going to go to Upgrade Firmware. If you ever think firmware is kind of corrupted or you just really want to make sure things are as they should be, you'll select Erase Firmware. If you happen to have a 1.2 or 2.0, you'll see some options called DFFS. I have a 2.0 and 2.0 SLE, both upgraded to 4 megabytes. This one that I'm showing you is a 1.0, and at this moment of this video, I should have about another 100 to sell. I happen just to run across them. So go ahead and ask me if you'd like to gather one. I can use anyone's help. Anyway, we're going to go to Upgrade Firmware. Now it's going to scan the CD for the scripts. You can install your firmware from anywhere as long as the things work. MMCE support is still kind of beta, but it does work. So in this case, we're going to choose CD/DVD. MMCE, for you guys that are new to it, is the new method where it's kind of like MX4 SIO, where you have an SD card but it's one that works as a memory card or as storage. It's really cool and way better than MX4 SIO. Anyway, so we're going to select Crystal Chips firmware. And now I'm going to add more features in the future. I'm working on them still. There's experimental. If you want to help, you can take a look at things. But regardless, right here, we can boot the boot manager from memory card 1 or memory card 2. Right now it's hard-coded. You need to put a memory card in, and it needs to be in, it's going to only run boot manager from that location. So we're going to say boot manager runs from memory card 1, whatever you want. Now it's programming it. Yay, cool. Doesn't take too long. It goes really fast on the 1.2 and up. Cool, now we can back out. And circle goes back, X goes forward. Now, what we want to do is go to install boot manager. So let me show you real quick. We're booted from CD-ROM, and I have a 1.0 in here on a 39K series. Okay. So install boot manager. Gives you full support for USB and memory card emulator and a few other things. Most people are going to want full. Minimal is if you want to save some space, but you don't want USB and some other functionalities. We're going to install it to memory card 1. Again, you choose where to install boot manager to the firmware choice that you made. Maybe one day I'll make this automated, but there's sometimes you may not want to install boot manager, especially if you're screwing around with scripts and whatnot, because then you'd need to burn another CD or USB or whatever every time. Memory card 1. Now you just sit here and wait. It's moving the files over. After this, like I stated though, you can install boot manager from any device. You could even technically do it over the network with PS2 link. But USB, MMCE, CD, DVD of course. That's about it. So as I make updates though, you can simply drop them onto a USB stick. I'll show you that a little bit later, but you can copy the BM folder to the root of your memory stick. Root means before there are any files on the USB stick. Not before, but that would be, it wouldn't be enclosed in any other folder. So you'll see BM FWS right now, PS1 logo. So the BM folder can simply be copied to a USB stick for future upgrades as I work with them. Firmware changes though will need to be reflashed. And you can reflash the firmware via any other device as well, as long as you can get to boot manager. Again, if you can't get to boot manager, the way back in to do things is with a CD. Good. Done, done, done. If you wanted to install some firmware things that I'm working with, you'd go here to upgrade firmware. Device manager. I'll show you real quick. Device manager stuff is the drivers for, say, FTP, PS2 link, which is PC host, memory card, or MMCE device, etc. Don't worry about that for now. So now I'm going to reboot my PS2 and take the CD out. Why do I take the CD out? By default, Boot Manager will auto boot your CDs and DVDs. And yay, now we're in Boot Manager. Let's take a look. Let me show you. I'll prove it. Boot Manager, we are running off MC0. MC0 is memory card 1. MC1 is memory card 2. The same thing for MMCE 0 and 1. Blame it on how computers talk and programmers do things. But that's just how it is. So it's showing you where it's running from if you ever forget what you're trying to do. Anyway, that is basics to Boot Manager. Thank you for watching.